From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
Live from the CBS studios in San Francisco on this Saturday evening, I'm Brian Hackney.
And I'm Andrea Nakano. Tonight we begin in Fremont, where police are searching for a drive-by shooter who killed two people outside of a banquet hall.
This happened in front of the Royal Palace Banquet Hall on Stevenson Boulevard last night.
As Dahlin reports, violence has erupted at that same venue before.
All is quiet in front of Royal Palace Banquet Hall this Saturday, but it was a very different scene late Friday night. Fremont police say someone drove into this parking lot and started shooting. A large celebration turned deadly outside the banquet hall. Guests looked to be in disbelief, saddened by the tragedy.
RP advised it was a drive-by 1071. Plus therapy heard multiple reports, and we can hear people screaming.
The Fremont Police Union released this exchange between a 911 dispatcher and responding officers.
About 100 people still inside the building, negative injuries inside.
Neighboring businesses tell me they heard it was a wedding reception, but we have not been able to confirm that. People who work in the plaza say the parking lot was packed with guests.
Very shocking, very hard to hear. The most shocking part to me is that it's right outside the place that I come every day.
Carlo Figueroa is a swimming instructor at the Hippo Swim Club, just a few doors down from the banquet hall. The plaza also has several Asian restaurants, a medical office, and a salon.
It's crazy to me. This area has always been very safe. A lot of nice people around here.
Carlo left work around 9 o'clock on Friday night. Police say the drive-by shooting happened just after 11 when some guests were standing outside. Investigators say someone pulled into the parking lot, opened fire, and then drove off. One person died at the scene. A second person died at the hospital.
Definitely terrible, shocking news. I never expect this will happen here. So Fremont, in general, has to be a quite safe place, right? Especially here. So never expect someone will just drive by and randomly kill. That's really, really terrible.
Police are reviewing surveillance video from the banquet hall and nearby businesses. They don't yet know the motive or if the victims were the intended targets. The banquet hall owner, Jamal Sadiq, declined to comment.
I'm just trying to find out a little more. Would you like to say a couple of things, or?
Back in 2017, a wedding at the same banquet hall with nearly 900 guests ended in multiple fights and injuries. Police said at the time about 70 people fought, and one man was beaten so badly he was left in a coma.
I really hope this will never happen again.
The latest shooting has nearby workers like Carlo on heightened alert.
I pray for the families of the victims. It's a sad thing to hear, and I really hope that the victims can rest peacefully.
Police have not released the names of the victims, and it's still unclear how those victims may be connected to Friday night's events. So far, no arrests. Fremont police asking anyone with information to come forward.
And a violent night in Oakland. 2 people were killed and 4 others were injured in separate incidents. The shootings happened after midnight in downtown Oakland. The mayor, Barbara Lee, had this to say about the shootings.
We have to make sure that people are safe, feel safe, and continue with our crime-fighting efforts. And so we have to do that. We don't sweep our difficulties and challenges under the rug. We're at it, and we have to keep at it.
Despite what happened, the mayor said there has been an overall drop in crime in Oakland, but that every shooting is one too many. For their part, police are blaming budget cuts. A statement read in part, there are not enough police to safely patrol the city or major events like First Friday. It's with great concern that the public cannot be assured of safety even at large public gatherings. Defunding and cuts to the police by the mayor and city council have created life-threatening situations. By the way, no arrests have been made in the shootings. There's no word on the condition of the injured victims. Andrea?
Well, Brian, after being shut down for nearly 3 years, the Oakland Fire Department unveiled its newly renovated Station 10 today. The fire station is over a century old and sits right off the downtown Oakland exit off Interstate 580. It covers one of the most densely populated areas of the city. Oakland Fire Chief Damon Covington spoke about how crucial the station is to their overall response.
This particular firehouse is key for all of our downtown responses. So having this firehouse fire station back open really helps all the surrounding stations in the area because they took on a tremendous amount of extra runs while Station 10 was shuttered.
Even though today was the grand reopening, Fire Station 10 has been in service for about 3 months. This marks the first time in 20 years that every fire station is up and running.
Where Mexico's national team takes on Team Japan for a friendly little soccer match tonight with thousands of fans expected to fill the Coliseum. Amanda Harry joins us from the Oakland Coliseum tonight. Amanda?
The energy here at the Coliseum is very high. A lot of people very excited to be here, and they've been here all afternoon. People have been tailgating for hours, and now that the match is less than an hour away, we have people lining up to get inside, and there are a ton of people here waiting to get through security so they can get inside and see this whole game. This is a friendly match between Mexico and Japan. On Friday, officials said tickets for the match were nearly sold out, and they're expecting 70,000 people at the venue over the course of the weekend. It's an opportunity for sports to gain some momentum again in Oakland after the Raiders, Warriors, and A's all left the area in recent years. Mexico won the last meeting between the two teams back in 2020. Both teams are using this match, among others, to prepare for the 2026 World Cup.
Most definitely, yes. I think both teams are going to dominate. I've seen Japan grow throughout the years. They gotten a lot better to be able to compete with more of the bigger teams. So this is kind of like a test right before the big World Cup comes out to see if they're going to be up there with everybody else.
And we're going to be here all evening just checking in with how fans are doing here and how the game is going, and we'll have an update for you at 11.
Amanda, are you going to go inside and watch the game?
We're going to go inside for a little bit, but I think we'll be mostly working, so we won't get to watch much of the game.
Okay, just wondering how the sports stuff works. Okay, Amanda Harry live at the Oakland Coliseum. Amanda, thank you.
Well, in San Francisco, city leaders recently celebrated the grand opening of an affordable housing project. It was built specifically for SF Unified School District teachers, employees, and their families. The long-awaited development is the first of its kind in the city. And just to move in, employees had to win a lottery. Kara St. Cyr introduces us to some of the building's first residents.
Living in the city was always a dream for Jack Hobbs and his wife Victoria. But as a law student married to a teacher, finding affordable housing seemed impossible.
We were well over half our income was going into rent every month, and we only had a few $100s left over.
But this spring, an opportunity arose for educators like Jack's wife. A chance to live here at the Shirley Chisholm Village in the Outer Sunset.
This is the first time we've ever been the first tenants in a new unit, and so you know that the washer, dryer, garbage disposal, everything works. The lights flick on.
This 135-unit complex is the city's first ever educator housing development. Teachers and supporting staff in SFUSD get first dibs on 100% affordable rooms. But they had to be lucky enough to be chosen in a lottery system. The district says more than 1,200 people applied.
We put ourselves in the lottery right away.
Mayor Daniel Lurie spoke at the ribbon cutting, calling the build a milestone in the city's efforts to build more affordable housing.
This building stands as a symbol of a city that is welcoming working families.
Being more welcoming to working families is also important for the school district. San Francisco Unified has struggled with teacher shortages. A 2023 report from SFUSD showed that the starting salary for teachers was $50,000 a year, about 40% less than HUD's definition of low-income families in the region.
You guys love it. Thank you.
That's why Eric McAvoy, an SFUSD teacher, says this apartment means so much.
Everybody that I've talked to that's now here, I think really appreciates the space.
But for Jack, the affordable housing means finally getting to enjoy the city he loves.
It's a difference of a few $100s every month, but that few $100s means that I can get new things for my dog. I can go to a restaurant with my wife. I can, take a night in a hotel once a month and we can go somewhere. Like it frees us up to have a little bit of, it lets us live normally.
And this housing project was 10 years in the making, built on a site previously used for district storage. While some affordable housing projects for educators stalled during the pandemic, a few are moving forward. The school district has a goal of creating 550 homes for teachers by the year 2030.
And still ahead here at 6, humpback whales in the Bay Area, presumably in the water. Meet a whale watcher who's helping others take in the sight. Darren?
Coming up in the forecast, it was right on the money for average for this time of year in the city. Probably felt warm if you were out in it. No wind, not a lot anyway. Direct sunshine. What is this, summer? And if you were inland, you were cooler. I mean, the real story for the Bay in general is that we are cooler than average for this time of year, but it is a mixed bag to explain that with these microclimates. We'll do that, and we'll talk about a chance of rain, believe it or not, early next week. Much to go over. Coming up after the break.
And welcome back. People are heading to Pacifica to see a group of humpback whales recently spotted making their migration south along the coast.
Max Darrow has more on how to get a glimpse of the majestic animals.
There it is, right there.
Oh my goodness.
For the best play-by-play of a phenomenon unfolding off the coast of Pacifica right now.
Oh, big splash again.
Look no further than Robin Brunn.
I do love it, as you can tell, yeah. And a lot of times you can see them slap their fins.
Simply put, she loves whales.
They're magnificent creatures for sure.
And the humpback whale is the star of an offshore show on daily display in Brunn's backyard.
But the last 2 weeks have been spectacular.
That is drawing people to Pacifica from all over the place.
There's definitely, a number of us whale addicts out here. So we can spend hours and hours, all day out here at times.
The whales are here to primarily feed on anchovies. It's a relatively new phenomenon.
We are seeing now whales using coastal habitats more often than they did 20, 15 years ago.
Jaime Janke is with the group Point Blue Conservation Science.
There's two things going on here. One is a shift in the distribution of the prey, the fish prey that they consume. And the second part of the story is the success story on the recovery of the humpback whale population along the west coast of the U.S.
Janke says the whales are staying for longer, too. His group has documented whales off the coast during the winter in recent years. And with that...
And we need to do as much as we can to minimize the threats from vessel strikes and from entanglements.
It's a whale right there. You can see its back. You see the blow and its back.
Aside from the show itself, Robin loves sharing her enthusiasm with others.
I'd say it's just like kind of pure joy, really, to see them. Well, there's a whale down there.
She created the Facebook group Pacifica Whale Spotting a few years ago so people could take in the beauty together. And there are now 36,000 members.
I've gotten messages from people that said that it completely changed their life to see whales live for the first time.
It's tough to pinpoint what it is.
And for some reason, I'm just drawn to them. I just love to watch them.
Maybe it's a majestic magnetism, or maybe it's the mysteriousness of what lies below the marine surface. Whatever it is, Robin is in luck.
Oh, yeah, that was a big tail throw. Yeah, did you get it?
And you can bet she will continue to light up with every look.
Good beach weather, relatively warm at the coast and in the city. Everybody else is relatively cool. Let me explain the difference here. These are today's daytime highs. 77 San Jose, upper 70s for Concord and Livermore, and 70 in San Francisco. There's only a 9-degree difference right now between the city and the inland East Bay. Little comparison on this. How does this stack up to average or normal? If you go to 70 degrees for a daytime high on September 6th, as we did in San Francisco, that 0 in there shows you were right on the mark for average. You're not below it or above it. That's what the 0 is saying. Let's go to the inland East Bay. Temperatures out here were almost 10 degrees below average today. So in general, for the Bay as a whole, the atmosphere does want to make things relatively cool, especially if you're in your inland, you're feeling it that way. Take a look at the North Bay. So that's an overriding theme. But if you get a 70-degree day in San Francisco, and if you take a look at what's going on from the marine layer today, there really wasn't much at all out here. And the clouds just now started to show up over the last few hours. In fact, look at the time lapse. Started this time lapse up here just about an hour ago. No clouds showing up out there at all. And then as we watch the last 30 minutes or so, you can see a little bit of the marine layer that begins to finally show up. This is the time of year where we really start losing that influence. And as a result, the part of the bay that's been so heavily influenced by that all summer is starting to feel it. Temperatures are going up from early September through early October. This is typically when we're going to have our warmest time of year. Now, granted, 70 is about as high as you get for an average. You can get hotter than that. But anyway, I digress. Let's take a look at what happens tomorrow. The marine layer is coming in a bit. Not overwhelming tomorrow, but we'll wake up tomorrow morning at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and you'll see some of the marine layers filled in through the immediate bay, but it will not last long. It's going to melt back pretty quickly. And as we get into the early afternoon, in fact, let's take it from 7 a.m. now and play it forward until about 1 in the afternoon, we're going to be right back where we were today. Plenty of sunshine, maybe a little more marine layer hanging out off the coast. And if we look at the daytime highs for tomorrow, they are pretty similar to what we did today. So let's get those numbers on here for Sunday. And you may notice a subtle difference. We only topped out at 79 today for the inland East Bay. Tomorrow, you might have to go up a bit. You might go up 3 or 4 degrees from there to get you to the low to mid 80s. Sunday may be a little warmer, technically, than today was. I don't think you'll notice a whole lot of difference in the city. I've got you at 71. See what the North Bay will be doing. You'll be low 70s. And if we can just get down to Santa Clara Valley, San Jose, downtown's number was about 77 today. You'll be about 79 tomorrow. It is a subtle difference. All right, let's talk about what is a really conversation piece here. 20% chance of rain early next week. Monday afternoon through Wednesday, there's this weak little system coming down from the Gulf of Alaska that's going to try and drop a few drops of rain. It won't be a lot if we get it, and the odds only about a 20% chance. But it is interesting. So when we get together again in the next half hour, I'll spend most of that visit talking to you about what that system looks like. We'll go into what the latest is on timing and where we're likely to see any of that rain for next week. So I'll see you with that coming up in the next half hour. For now, Andrea, back to you.
All right, thank you, Darren. Still ahead here at 6, the Valkyries have clinched a playoff spot, but will have to make their postseason debut somewhere else.
And welcome back tonight. An experimental step into the future for America's pastime, and it's the Oakland Ballers giving it a go. The team is letting artificial intelligence coach tonight's game. It'll mark the first time a pro team has turned over in-game decisions to computer software. The experiment is happening during Fan Appreciation Night at Raimondi Park. Manager Aaron Miles will step aside as a custom-built AI system developed by the software firm Distillery makes all the calls on lineups and substitutions and plays. The team says it's just a one-game trial, but it could reshape how coaches use AI in the future.
I'm looking forward to it, actually. AI may be a bench coach and when it's coming soon. Every person out here in a job that knows AI may be coming for their job doesn't like this at all, you know what I mean? And part of me is, thinks that too. But, it's I think the AI could be a part, like I said, a tool.
We shall find out. Ballers leadership say that they are planning to essentially fire the system after the game. And they hope that the AI system won't take it personally. Still ahead here at 6, it's been a hot topic in politics. Redistricting. Looked at the latest push to put Proposition 50 on the California ballot.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
Welcome back. The Trump administration is moving forward on their plans to rename the Department of Defense.
The president says the name, the Department of War, is much more fitting for the department's goals.
This comes as the Trump administration is facing new calls to fire Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. CBS News' Nicole Killian has more.
President Trump took a step on Friday to return the Defense Department to its old name, the Department of War.
We won the First World War, we won the Second World War, we won everything before that and in between, and then we decided to go woke and we changed the name to Department of Defense. So we're going Department of War.
It was called the Department of War through World War II and officially became the Defense Department in 1949.
I think it's a much more appropriate name, especially in light of where the world is right now.
Signs were promptly swapped out at the Pentagon as the executive order also moves to change the title of Secretary of Defense to Secretary of War.
It's restoring, as you've guided us to, Mr. President, restoring the warrior ethos, restoring victory and clarity as an end state.
After a contentious hearing on Capitol Hill this week, calls are mounting for Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to go, amid concerns over the agency's vaccine policy and a leadership shakeup at the CDC. On Saturday, Trump's former Surgeon General Jerome Adams told CNN that Kennedy should absolutely be fired over what he called Kennedy's dangerous policies. The president is standing by Secretary Kennedy for now. Meantime, the president made a major announcement here at the White House. He says the U.S. will host world leaders for the G20 summit in Miami next year. The president said Friday his golf course and spa in Doral will host the summit at cost and will receive no profit from the State Department or a foreign government. The gathering is scheduled for December 2026.
Here in California, Democrats are continuing their push to redraw congressional districts to give the party 5 more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. Our John Ramos introduces us to San Francisco union members pushing for Prop 50.
Unions are a powerful political force in the city of San Francisco, and today they were marshaling the forces in the fight to pass Prop 50.
Good morning! Good morning!
Union members met at the IBEW headquarters in San Francisco to begin a 2-month campaign blitz to pass Proposition 50 in time for the 2026 midterm elections. The measure would change California's congressional districts, potentially adding 5 new Democratic seats in response to the state of Texas doing the same thing in favor of Republicans.
What the Republicans are doing in Texas shouldn't have to happen, but we cannot let Trump disrupt our political system. We have to fight fire with fire, and we have to use the resources that are available to us politically.
California created a nonpartisan, citizen-led commission to handle redistricting in 2010 as a matter of electoral fairness. So Democrats are in the uncomfortable position of campaigning for a change that would essentially fix several districts in favor of their candidates.
This is about saving our democracy, the integrity of our electoral system, and we didn't start this fight. They started the fight, and we're not going to get pushed around and let them take away the Medicare of those people up there in the North Country.
It is in the northern counties where Republican voters will be gerrymandered into a district dominated by Democratic voters in Santa Rosa. And though the same tactic is being used in Texas, California Republicans are accusing Democrats of disenfranchising them.
It's an absolute joke. They are absolutely out of touch with Californians. They couldn't care less about Californians. They care about their own personal and political agenda.
When we do go out, we go out at least about 1,000 or 500 of us. So
Boxinette King's agenda is, in fact, personal. She was out canvassing the neighborhood on behalf of her union.
I'm with SEIU, and we out today for Proposition 50.
But for her, it's not political. It's about the adult brother she cares for every day. He has severe mental health issues, and Boxinette, who is a healthcare worker, worries what will happen to people who rely on the social safety net once the Medicare cuts kick in after the midterm elections.
Do you think those people are threatened right now? Yes, they're totally threatened, because they're the first one everything's getting cut. And I want someone to be here for him. Right now, I'm this only voice that he have in the world. I'm standing up for him because he can't come out here and fight.
Organizers say unions are getting involved because they represent the people who will be affected by the looming cuts in California and every other state.
We have to do something, because sitting and just playing by his rules, working people will lose every single time. So yes, we're fighting fire with fire, and we have to make sure that the playing field is leveled.
You hear that expression a lot on Prop 50, fighting fire with fire. Democrats accuse President Trump of rigging elections, and now they're willing to do the same thing themselves. There is an old saying, the first casualty of war is the truth. But in a war for democracy, the first casualty may be democracy itself.
Prop 50 calls for a statewide special election on November 4th that would cost about $230 million. If passed, the new district boundaries will be in effect for the congressional elections in November of 2026.
And now with all of this talk about voting in elections, a bizarre story out of Southern California. An Orange County woman is facing felony charges for casting a ballot for her dog who had been registered to vote. Hunter Sowards explains how it all happened.
A social media post at the center of an investigation by the Orange County DA's office, accusing 62-year-old Laura Urex of illegally registering her dog to vote and trying to cast ballots in her dog's name in the 2021 recall election and the 2022 primary. She's even accused of posting this picture of her dog, Maya Jean, with an I voted sticker.
My initial reaction is, thank goodness this is rare, and that's why it makes the news.
CBS legal analyst Jessica Levinson weighs in on the investigation that started in October of 2024 after the Orange County DA says Urex reported herself to the registrar's office.
This is serious. People should not commit fraud in elections. Our entire we the people depends on the idea that only the people who can register to vote do register to vote.
Another post reads, Maya is still getting her ballot. The good news is Sammy is apparently off voting rolls. Investigators say Urex is referring to her dog Maya, still getting ballots in the mail even after the dog died. The bizarre voting debacle playing out over 2 elections. In order to cast a ballot in a state election, the only thing required is an affidavit of registration, paperwork that asks for things like a name, address, and political preference, but does not require proof. The dog's ballot was accepted in the state recall election.
When it comes to proving that you're somebody who is actually eligible to vote, the California laws are slightly different from the federal laws.
In federal elections, a first-time voter must show proof of residence. The dog's federal ballot was rejected in the 2022 primary race. We went to Costa Mesa hoping to ask Urex questions about the situation. We were not able to speak to her. Urex is facing 5 felonies, including perjury, procuring or offering a false or forged document to be filed, 2 felony counts of casting a ballot when not entitled to vote, and registering a non-existent person to vote.
If convicted on all charges, she is facing up to 6 years in prison. We reached out to Governor Gavin Newsom for comment on this story. He referred us to the Secretary of State's office. Urex is due in court this Tuesday.
All right, and still ahead at 6, we'll meet the Bay Area scientists working to address one of the biggest threats to our planet, the destruction of coral reefs.
Now you can get your KPIX news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
Lines support local tourism and provide a home to a third of the ocean's biodiversity.
But as the planet warms, rising temperatures are harming sea creatures and threatening reefs around the world. Ann Makovic introduces us to the Bay Area scientists trying to give the reefs a fighting chance.
Inside the Steinhardt Aquarium at the California Academy of Sciences, feast your eyes on the deepest display of living coral in the world. Nikki Tyson and her partner Carlin are enchanted.
I love it. We've just been sitting here just appreciating the beauty of it, just in silence for the last few minutes.
But worldwide, it's another story. Many of these vibrantly colored colonies of tiny creatures have now turned ghostly white.
It literally looks like you've taken that animal and dipped it in bleach.
It's called coral bleaching. A major culprit is climate change. Dr. Rebecca Albright with the Academy explains.
Because of climate change, the water's warming up, it's getting hotter, and that's stressing out these organisms.
84% of all coral reefs, the most biodiverse ecosystems in the oceans, are now impacted. When stressed by heat, the coral starves, becomes susceptible to disease, and eventually dies.
If we lose coral reefs, we lose about 30% of all life in oceans. So these are baby corals. You can see the little kind of green fluorescent dots are corals that are about 8 months old.
Dr. Albright is the founder of the Coral Regeneration Lab at the Academy. It's the first in the U.S. to successfully spawn coral. The goal, to regenerate the reefs.
So we're particularly focused on sexual reproduction in corals because that's the way that we get new genetic diversity and new opportunities for survival.
Including some tolerant to heat. The scientists adopted techniques to trigger spawning. That is when a colony releases tiny packets of eggs and sperm. The lab is a master at creating baby coral.
And the Mesoamerican reef is the second largest barrier reef in the world.
Now the California team has brought their expertise into the wild. In partnership with the Roatan Marine Park in Honduras, they've built the first coral rearing facility in Central America. The hope is to restore Roatan's damaged reefs. Armed with test tubes, the scientists quickly dove into the water and collected the tiny packets. Once back on land, the eggs were fertilized, incubated, and then brought back into the wild.
And then we outplanted over 3,000 baby corals back to the reefs.
The baby corals are now 2 months old. The Roatan staff will dive in a few months to see how many survived. For Albright, it's a labor of love.
These are ecosystems that captured my heart at a very young age. I'm a mom. I want my kids to be able to go see them.
As for Nikki and Carlin,
it's palpable that it's alive and that it's supporting all of this life.
All this life now getting a fighting chance.
For more information on the lab and coral or more Project Earth stories just like that one, head over to KPIX.com. Andrea?
Well, still ahead at 6, a Cal grad student is putting in the reps, training for a big race, but it's not on the track. The championship he's competing in. Next.
In the forecast, we're going to check in on that little spinning mass of clouds in the Pacific. That is where this 20% chance of rain is coming from for Monday through Wednesday. We can already start visualizing some of the rain in it and see where it might just end up. Early next week, stick around. We'll get specific on that coming up after the break.
Welcome back. San Francisco continuing its ongoing celebration of the Grateful Dead's 60th anniversary. They're hosting a day-long celebration at Pier 39. Celebration features a tie-dye station, of course, themed cocktails on the pier's restaurants and bars, and live music from the Dead and Jerry Garcia's catalog. Festivities scheduled to continue until, you better hurry, until 7 o'clock tonight, Andrea.
Are getting ready for the Sunday's MTV Video Music Awards. For the first time ever, the iconic show will air live on CBS. Nick Zetevich has a preview of what to expect.
The stage is set for a night to remember. Hip-hop legend LL Cool J is hosting this year's MTV Video Music Awards. He says the show, airing on CBS for the first time, promises to bridge genres and generations.
You'll be hearing the new things that, kids have been listening to in the backseat on the headphones that you weren't exposed to, and the vice versa. The kids will be able to listen to the stuff that, mom and dad have been turning up, that they've been begging them to turn down.
With performances by Jelly Roll, Post Malone, Sabrina Carpenter, and more, the main stage will spotlight some of the biggest names in music.
I think the fans come away as the winners because they get exposed to all of the newest cool music and visuals and artists and all of the iconic music and iconic visuals and artists.
Lady Gaga leads the nominations with 12, including Artist of the Year. The night will also mark new milestones. Ricky Martin will be honored with the inaugural Latin Icon Award, and hip-hop icon Busta Rhymes will take home the first ever Rock the Bells Visionary Award.
To be able to give Busta Rhymes MTV VMA's Rock the Bells Visionary Award. That's really amazing. Like, to be in the game so long that you're not only receiving awards, but now you're giving awards is an amazing feeling.
Another highly anticipated moment, Mariah Carey returning to the VMA stage for the first time in 20 years. The best-selling female artist of all time is not only picking up the prestigious Video Vanguard Award, she's on tap to wow viewers with a career-spanning medley of her biggest hits.
Well, LL has been around for a very long time. The 2025 MTV VMAs airs tomorrow at 5 p.m. right here on KPIX, and you can also see it on Paramount Plus. Darren.
All right, Andrea, in the forecast, on a day like this where there's barely a cloud in the sky, but the marine layer's starting to come back in again. More on that in a second because it'll be here tomorrow morning. But we've been lulled into the sense that things are pretty quiet, understandably. So now for something completely different. Look what's coming our way for next week. There is a small chance of rain in the forecast by Monday and Tuesday. You see the spinning circle there, the clouds that are just kind of sitting out there, not doing much. You look at it on the water vapor, and now you can see a much more impressive area of low pressure. That's where this is coming from. If we put it on the Futurecast, we're going to watch this on 3 different scales. Here's first the big picture view, just so you can kind of see where that thing came from. But let's slow it down and come in for a closer look. Look at the timestamp. I've skipped ahead to the very start of Monday. So this is midnight on Monday. There's still nothing going on here, but you can see there's a big band of rain sitting out there. And as we advance this forward, by the time we get into Monday afternoon, weak southern edge of that cold front drags across the North Bay. And then over the course of about the next 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, that system is just kind of lurking across much of California so that we keep a chance of an isolated shower around. It's never super impressive, never really amounts to a whole lot. On Wednesday, it turns into a better rainmaker for the Sierra, maybe even some mixed in lightning with that. So there will be more to watch with this system as we get closer to it and the models are able to resolve out the details a little better. But here's the broad overview on rain. And then we're going to come in for a closer look again, and I'll show you what the latest high-resolution depiction is now at this point for where that first band of rain might fall on Monday. But even with that, when it's all said and done with, what you're seeing here is the total amount of rain that could potentially fall from Monday afternoon through Wednesday. And there's not much here, but Santa Rosa picks up maybe about a couple hundredths of an inch of rain. San Jose maybe even gets in on the act with 1/100th of an inch of rain. All right, that's how much we might see total from Monday afternoon through Wednesday. Most of that, if we get it, is going to come in that first chance Monday, second half of the day. And we're now close enough to Monday evening that the higher resolution models are able to start visualizing how that might go. So let's take a look at that now, and you'll see how the showers come on shore here as we get into Monday. And there go a few showers right there through Monday afternoon and evening, and that's it. Now, that was mainly for the North Bay. And then as we get into Tuesday, you might see a few more as the system kind of works its way down the coast. Very spotty, very hit and miss. And that's about all we'll probably see from that as it comes together. So there's the big picture view on it. All right, let's come back to the virtual map. It's not raining tomorrow. So just to show you what tomorrow is going to look and feel like, we'll wake up with a little bit of marine layer in the morning, and then you'll have plenty of sunshine. That will pretty much be the theme of the day tomorrow, and daytime highs that are almost identical to today. So the second half of your weekend is great. Just like today, it's below average if you're inland. It'll feel relatively warm if you're in the city because you're going to be doing 70 degrees again for the daytime high. And when we look at the 7-day forecast now for our inland microclimate, these numbers aren't changing. So really, the only thing that's kind of exciting to watch for will be how that rain plays out. Wouldn't be much. Could be the possibility for an isolated strike of lightning across the northern third of the state when this happens. Considering where we are now in fire season, that will be something to watch closely, but it doesn't look like an overwhelming, concerning threat at this point. We'll keep you updated. All right, Brian, back to you.
All righty, thank you, Darren. Coming up next, doing puzzles is typically slow and relaxing, but not for one Berkeley grad student. How she's training for a big competition.
And remember, you can watch us anytime, anywhere on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. Catch all of our live newscasts, plus news and weather updates throughout the day, and you can find us on the free CBS News app or on Pluto TV.
Well, the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship, there actually is such a thing, is only a few weeks away. Speed puzzlers from all around the world will compete in Spain, and 13 of those competitors will be from the Bay Area.
Our Suji Nam shows us how one UC Berkeley grad student is hoping to bring home the win.
I usually do 3 puzzles every evening after work, 3 500-piece puzzles.
It may look simple putting a puzzle together.
The secret is just to do a lot of puzzles.
But try doing it timed.
I try to get all of the easy parts out of the way. That way, when I get to the hard parts, there's like context to build around and I'm a little more familiar with the image.
Hannah Doyle is a professional speed puzzler. Her passion sparked about a year ago.
I had seen some coverage of speed puzzling competitions on YouTube.
Inspired, she picked up a 500-piece puzzle and timed herself.
My best time ever on a 500-piece is a little over 30 minutes.
That is when she pieced together her new hobby.
I have the puzzles kind of roughly organized by brand.
In her highly decorated puzzle room, Doyle has various 500 and 1,000-piece challenges.
The trophies I've gotten from various competitions.
Doyle placed second in nationals last year and most recently puzzled for 12 hours straight with her team, Girls in STEMP. The P stands for, you guessed it, puzzles. But this isn't her full-time gig. Doyle is a PhD student at UC Berkeley.
We're looking into ways that we can stimulate people's retinas with highly specialized laser systems.
Any free time she has goes straight to the puzzles.
It requires pretty remarkable visual acuity and a lot of manual dexterity.
Becca Taylor, the VP of the USA Jigsaw Puzzle Association, placed first in last year's World Championship. She, along with her teammate, represented the Bay Area.
The Bay Area had the highest representation of trophies geographically within the U.S. So we had trophies coming home in all 3 divisions, which was pretty great. I was very proud. The speed puzzling community in this area is bursting at the seams.
And she is supporting Doyle and other Bay Area puzzlers headed to the world's competition in Spain.
It's always possible to find something that you're passionate about, as long as you just keep trying new things and keep experimenting.
And she hopes she can be an inspiration to others who are searching for that piece of excitement in their lives.
Guys, any good at that?
I don't have that patience.
I like puzzles.
You do? You
I
put 'em
do,
together.
yeah.
You must be patient and extremely intelligent.
No, maybe the first part.
It does take patience, man. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock.
Until then, the news continues streaming on CBS News Bay Area. We'll see you back here at 11.